project, I'm using a pair of shorts, scissors, fabric, a sewing machine, and pins. I've chosen a pair of shorts that I enjoy wearing but have since gotten paint on them. I found this great fabric with zombie pinup girls. I had to have it, and it will be perfect for revamping these solid denim shorts. Line up your fabric with the area of the garment you'd like to cover. I'm going to leave the denim around the edges to frame the fabric. Once the fabric is situated, use a fabric chalk or a pencil to mark your cutting lines. And I'm gonna add a little bit extra, even though I don't need all this fabric, but I'd rather be, have the extra and cut it off later than not enough. Use the scissors to cut the lines, giving yourself about a ½ inch of extra fabric around the outside for making a clean edge. Unfortunately, I have to cut off these girls' legs. This is the best fabric I think I've ever seen. I saw this fabric and I was like, mine. I need this fabric. I'm going to fold it over where the chalk line was and sort of give myself a seam, and then I'm going to start pinning and pin all the way around. Again, I'm placing mine inside the seam lines so that I still have the jean on the other side. And obviously be careful not to pin through both sides of the shorts. And then to do the corners here, we're just gonna we already have this side folded under, so we're just gonna take this side and tuck that as well. So you'll keep the corner tucked under. And I'm just gonna work my way around the shorts. And I usually use the foot as a guide. I'm gonna try and sew with this foot along the edge of my pinup fabric. At the corner, make sure your needle is all the way down into the fabric, and then you can lift up your foot and you're just gonna spin this and sew again along that line. It gets to be a little tricky when you have a million pins sticking out at you. And make sure that the bottom half of your fabric is separate so you don't sew the whole thing together, because that would suck. For a pocket, trace the shape you'd like to use on a piece of paper and cut out. Again, leaving about a ½ inch of excess to work with. I started with this one, and Michaeline said, no, your butt is way too big. Then I went with this one, and Michaeline said, no, do you realize how big your butt is? And then I said, okay, fine. And we ended up with this. But actually, this is gonna be a great size. So if you look here, we are going to sew 2 layers of fabric together, in which case this is going to get shrunk down about a ½ inch all the way around. So it's gonna end up about this big when we get done with it. Using the fabric chalk again, trace the pocket shape from your template. Do the same with another piece of fabric to use as the pocket liner and cut. Lay both pocket pieces facing towards each other and pin together. And I'm gonna try and stay an equal distance away from the side of the fabric so I get a nice even seam all the way around. Leave a small opening in order to turn the fabric right side out and iron out any lumps. Pin the finished pocket fabric to the shorts, leaving the entrance of the pocket open. So once we have our pocket pinned, we're going to sew almost all the way around. We're going to leave the top open so it's actually a functioning pocket. If you wanted it to just be a patch or something, you could just sew it all the way around. So now this is a little flappy because I went in a little bit, which is fine because we're going to double stitch this just to make it a little more solid so it doesn't rip off. So we're just going to come in and do a second seam line all the way around.
I'm too sexy for my love, too sexy for my love, love's going to leave me. So sexy it hurts, and I am too sexy for Milan, too sexy for Milan, New York and Japan. And I am too sexy for your party, too sexy for your party. No way I'm disco dancing. I'm a model, you know what I mean. And I do my little turn on the catwalk. Yeah, on the catwalk, on the catwalk. Yeah, I do my little turn on the catwalk. Too sexy by far. And I'm too sexy for my hat, too sexy for my hat. What you think about that? I'm a model, you know what I mean. And I do my little turn on the catwalk. Yeah, on the catwalk, on the catwalk. Yeah, I shake my little tush on the catwalk. My little turn on the catwalk. Yeah, on the catwalk. Yeah, on the catwalk. Yeah, I shake my little tush on the catwalk. I'm too sexy for my cat, too sexy for my cat. Poor pussy cat.